go from a single to a home run every time. Today we are talking about apps, and I have two of my favorite people with me. I'm going to get Fred Cary, who is executive chairman of IdeaPros, and we have Jay Mahanga, who is a mobile app developer with IdeaPros, with us today. Hello, everyone. If you're watching live, go ahead and hashtag live so we can see you. If you don't comment, we can't see that you're there. So hi, Kelly, Michael, Sean, Tom, Stephanie, Katie, everyone that's popping in right now. Thank you guys so much for being here. And we're talking apps, and we're specifically talking about how to make them successful. And Fred, I will let you introduce all of this.
Okay. 10,000 a day. 10,000 a day. That's how many new apps go into the app stores between Android and iOS. It's insane. And everybody wants to come build an app, build an app, build an app. But an app is just a roadway to get your precious content over to the people who want it. And you can't do that just by building an app. You need to do that by building a strategy, by understanding human behavior, by using the technologies that are in place to make things happen and to get people attracted to you. And we're going to show you today with Jay, not only the fact that we've built hundreds of apps, really, but the fact that you can go build an app in a very competitive landscape and still penetrate that marketplace. So Jay, hi.
Hi.
You've been working with apps, I guess, since apps first came out, right?
Yeah. Right.
And when did you start?
Yeah. So app is something that I always wanted to be ever since it came out. When it first came up, it was like a kid in a candy shop fantasizing about technology. Then it evolved, obviously, from the time it started to where we're at today. So we seen even the most big companies out right now are based on technology. So it's a great area to be, but to be in this area, you also have to understand it's just like every other business. The struggles and the hustle, and you have to understand the whole 9 yards. So it's always great to have a partner that understands how to run that.
Yeah. So I guess from 2006 to today, to my understanding, you probably launched close to 1,000 different apps.
Yeah. So yeah, get involved with over 1,000 apps with the team that I have. Yes.
Okay. And we have well over 100 under our portfolio now with you, and we want to go into a few of them. But before we do, I want to talk a little bit about how you get from a launch to 1 million downloads or so. And I think at current count, we've just passed what 600 million downloads.
Yeah, altogether 600 million downloads. Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to focus on 3 different apps in 3 different very crowded categories: games, food, and rides. Because as I said, I've had so many times when somebody's come to build an app and said, how do I keep competitors from coming into the marketplace? And number one, you can't. And number two, if you had no competitors, you have a shitty market, because the only reason there's no competitors, nobody wants it. So one of the things that we're highlighting here, that no matter how big the other players are, there's still a place for you. And let's talk about first, in general terms, the 2 primary methods of gaining followers: the kind of human method and the artificial intelligence method. You want to take us 5-minute journey down that road?
Yeah, so downloading the app later on, we're going to go over a few examples how we make that very successful, right? But I think we talked about this last time we were live. You need to understand where your crowd is, and you talk about it. There's 10,000 app coming every here and there. So when you think of creating an app, unfortunately, you might think is a great idea, but the possibility that app is already been developed or have so many features, it's many. So I think to hit a home run, you have to now focusing how you're going to make the difference, how you're going to make an impact, what experience you're bringing to the table that is going to change the, a very tight industry. If you're developing a game, for example, there's over 1 million of gaming app. So what make your app unique? What's make your game unique? Not just you're going to build another similar app to another, and we see that those app goes up and they just die out. There's no experience in it. But it's like what you said. Even in the big industry, the most dominant one, you still can make some kind of profit. You have to learn. You have to learn where your traffic is going to be from. You have to understand the market. For example, bringing it in real life, if you look up at your locations and you're trying to open another burger store and there's 7, don't open a burger store. Maybe you put a salad bar to change the environment. It's all about the experience of it applies even on the technology side. If you know that there is and certain app is already control a certain area, that's not the end of the world. There's elsewhere that they need the same help. One of the biggest things that I look at, Fred, is that majority of the app that is developed now today is to solve a first world country problem. And the first world country problem is only 20% of the population. So to get your app, so this is the idea that you don't always have to tailor, okay, I'm going to push my idea into California when there's already many of those. You have to think outside the box. There's 80% elsewhere that you can launch your app there, and then you can be very successful with that. And in other way, you can test your app even outside of the US. For example, there's another strategy you can do before you bring it here. When you bring it back to the US, now you understand the algorithm. Now you understand the AI behind it. Now you can modify your idea into a bigger solution. So at the end of the day, the app is to help people solve problems, easy their life, and that's how you're going to hit a home run. So I think with what we have, Fred, is we're showing people how to think outside the box and get a home run.
Yeah. So on the human side of it, first, I typically talk about finding some influencer, if you can, in the field that you're going into. That's a real good way to get a whole bunch of downloads really fast. Do you agree with that type of strategy?
Yeah. So again, you have to find your traffic on social media. We talk about this. Social media is a large platform collected of data that people can engage with your product. In every social media it's different. There's a social media for chat box. There is a social media for your live feeds, for your video that require challenge. So you have to think of those platforms and whoever is big on the industry, like a big influencer. If I were going to build an app about the bank industry, I'll be talking to bankers all day. If I'm going to build an app, me and Fred were discussing an app for entrepreneur. I'm not going to go talk to elsewhere. I'm going to focus on the entrepreneur and show them my idea. And when they understand your idea, they will support you 100% to get your home run that you're looking for.
Yeah, and it's for me, the very first step is that first 1,000 people that are going to download, because those first 1,000 are typically going to be people that you've been nurturing, people that you may even have a relationship with, people who are going to be advocates of what you're doing. If you don't have those first 1,000, you're not going to get to that first 1 million, because those are the critical people. I see that Mike from Recite is, hey Mike, he's going to be going live in another week or two, I believe. And I think we're either going to have him on next week or the week after when we launch. And Mike kind of followed that mantra of find that first audience, and you found a Facebook group, 22,000, 24,000 members in this tight group. And he's worked his way up to become the administrator of the group now. He's in charge of everything. And so when he launches, he's got 22,000 people that think, he's the expert. And that's what you need to do first on the human side of things, because those 1,000 can bring you 10,000.
Right. And I just wanted to say, yes, we are going to have him on next week. So he's going to hopefully explain the journey and what that was like. I am getting a little bit of feedback. I don't know if you guys are hearing feedback too, or if it's just me. Are you hearing?
I'm not.
Fred? You're good? Okay.
I'm hearing nothing.
No one else
I'm
is.
hearing nothing.
Okay, perfect. Well, then I will let you guys keep going. I know you had a chance to talk about machine learning, and that's the system learning, like Facebook, the algorithms behind it. And you talked about influencers. So those were two of the big things that I wanted you guys to cover.
Yeah.
So we're all excited to see some of these apps, I'm sure.
Well, why don't we do that? I don't know that we give machine learning quite enough time, but let me just say, basically, once you have your core audience in place, once you understand who they are, what their behaviors are, we use artificial intelligence to find out other people who are like them. Because if it's interesting to these 10,000 people you have a big database of people that you can study behaviorally and then learn how to go after them in Facebook and Instagram. Is that right, Jay?
Yeah, that is correct. And I want to just polish up on that part. What an amazing way, and it's free to start creating a group. It's a smart way to do it. You can title your group what it is about, and people will choose to join you or not. If you're talk about single mom and create a group of single mom, of course they will join you because they can. It's a group. It's free where you can talk about single mom stuff all day long, and now you can tell them, hey, I'm building an app based on single mom, how to make your life easier. What are the problems? You can ask these people free to give you feedback to make a home run.
I even get more devious in it, Jay. It's what we did with Mike is we recommend them to go find groups that already exist. After you've been there for a while, volunteer with the administrators to answer questions and help them, because these administrators are all volunteers, and if a group grows big enough, they're like, oh my God, what did I do? And you go in there and offer to just give you free help. And that's exactly what Mike did. And eventually it got to the point where the administrator said, you want to run this? And now Mike has 24,000 people that he's in control of. So find your group, join it, and then own it. Exactly. But let's talk about some.
Yeah, and Jay, if you want to go ahead and start your share on it, and when you're out of the StreamYard, I'll put your screen up for you. And I think the audience is hearing echo, so just check Fred and Jay to make sure you don't have Facebook open in another window.
Oh no, I don't have anything.
Okay, cool. I don't know then. I tried. So yes, you should be able to put your screen up. Perfect. And then whichever one you want to start with, Jay, we'll have you hop into.
Yeah, so I'm gonna walk you through on basically what we cover on an app that is doing successful home run. Some of them are here in the US, some of them are about to come to the US, to the market. But I'm gonna show you something that is similar to the This is a big company. You might think I don't have a chance to go against them, but let's give them the show, shall we?
All right, perfect. So go ahead and start on your end, and I'll put it in so we don't get the fun,
can you
psychedelic stuff. Yeah. So you'll have to minimize StreamYard.
Okay.
And then go to that. Yeah. Otherwise, I'll show you. We get psychedelic. Okay, there we go. Nope. Okay. Now we got psychedelic back. I tried.
Again, I'm gonna show you three main different app
Wait,
gaming.
we're seeing StreamYard right now.
Okay, sorry.
There we
From gaming that has been developed outside of the United States that has become successfully. We're looking at the game which developed outside of the United States, and it has over 5 million downloads in the game. So we talk about if you have a game to develop, we need to look at your storylines, your designs. You have to think of things that what is going to make it attractive to your users. What experience are you giving in difference? Then when we come to the industry, I'm pretty sure you guys are to the food industry. You're familiar with a big big company like OpenTable. You're familiar with DoorDash, Uber Eats. This is a similar app that is running live, that is hosting outside of the United States. That there's a lot of people interactive daily with their life and make it easy. When we talk about Uber, Lyft, those are big company, and I will show you another example of a very successful taxi platforms that is used up to 7,000 taxis, live taxi right now that that they're working live, that they're solving problems. So these are the things that me and Fred are trying to encourage as far as people when they come with the idea of app is that they come prepared and we can solve this huge problem for them. As far as strategy and marketing and the algorithm and getting your app to hit the home run, Fred will go in more to detail. Fred is more passionate about home run. Fred is if it's not a home run, don't talk to me.
It's true. And Fred, we do have you unmute, so you figured it out.
Yeah, well, I was muting myself to see if that is what was causing the echo.
It did make a difference, but
well, we'll have to
yeah.
figure
So
out why.
did you talk about the downloads that were attached to? I wasn't sure if I heard the numbers because that's what's so impressive on these.
Yeah, on the gaming, we reached less than 2 years to 5 million downloads. Gaming has become very common, but you have to attack. You have to have a partner strategy that will strategize the impact that you're going to bring in with your gaming idea. As far as the food, we talk about it. This is a huge industry that is dominated by 3-4 company. You might think that you have no chance. Guess what? We talk about this. The market here, you're talking about 360 million people. When the world is 7 billion. It's a different strategy. We can make your download. So we're talking about solving problem for 20 million people elsewhere. At the same time, you're becoming stronger in your development. You become stronger in understanding your audience, stronger in design. You can fix those problems elsewhere. And we also talk about the taxis. Uber is a huge company, and Lyft. If you're thinking of creating another one, of course you can. You can build a very successful one, and we can help you. Having a strategy team to figure this out. That's how you're going to get to the home run.
And we do have strategy behind that. We have some specific steps that we'll do in another show. So we're just
yeah, and I think with a food app, there's a couple million downloads.
Yeah, there's over 20 million downloads, but there's more people to solve. So the more people have access to internet, they can download more of the app.
Yeah, and let me talk about that for a second. We don't have to pull the app up again, but the reality is you can do things in different ways. And if you can do things in different ways that are better, then you can get your downloads that you need, even if they're big, huge players. So what are we doing that's better in the food app? In the food app, you can just go and look at a menu and order from that menu. You don't have to go to restaurant by restaurant. You just look at the things that you like, and they're presented in a different way. Makes it a lot more convenient for people, and that's why you have so many downloads. On the available taxi side of it, I think the biggest thing is you're dealing with professional drivers, and you're taking people who are in that business, and you are instead of them being marginalized, these are the best drivers in the world. This is what they do for a living. They're not doing it in their spare time to make extra money on the weekend, and they've been completely marginalized. So now you're empowering the group that should be empowered in the first place, and so you presumably are going to be delivering a more powerful professional experience. One of the biggest things when Uber first came out, I was in New York. The center of New York is not very big. I mean, it's a 7-mile island, and the from Broadway up to Central Park is a small area. I would get in car after car of Uber drivers that didn't know how to get there. I'd mention a 5-star hotel that's 10 blocks away, and they don't know where it is. Whereas somebody who's a professional driver, a cab driver, will tell you, oh, you can get there this way, but when you're there, you should go check out this site or this other event. And those people have become marginalized with our eagerness to use our cell phone instead of, hey, stop. And so now re-empowering that whole subset of the economy who uses that as their only job is very, very powerful. And then on gaming, frankly, I don't know how the hell we got 5 million downloads on the gaming app, but with gaming, you got to keep things interesting. The thing about gaming is it's a lot more fun if you're kicking the shit out of your friend. And so if you get an app that is really compelling and somebody likes, they're likely to share it. So with gaming, you really have to appeal to an audience. And once you have that audience of 12 to 14 to 16-year-olds and a lot older, not as old as me, but a lot older. But when you get that core group using something and enjoying it, they're going to tell all their friends that they need to download it, and it can become viral in a really big way. Exactly.
Yeah, I think you did a great job explaining that. I know we're almost out of time, so I do want to just take a couple seconds at the very end and say we had a lot more people on our live today that are new, and I just wanted to give them a couple more bits of information after you're done. But Fred, I'll let you do a final thought before we take off.
Yeah, the way you need to think about an app is the way you think about life. You are building a solution. You're not building an app. You're building a solution, and you want that solution to be delivered to the people who you want as your customers. An app is just the road to get you there. If you have a great app with all the bells and whistles and you have a solution that sucks, well, you're not going to get any downloads. If you think about it as you're putting to Jay's point, you're putting a store where all these other hamburger stores are. You need to have something that's going to appeal to people, that is going to interest them and going to make them want to come into your store. So if you think of an app as the vehicle to take your very important data and deliver it to the very important people you want to deliver it to, then you can build an app that's going to get a whole lot of downloads. But that same information can be delivered by a website, could be delivered by a brick and mortar business, could be delivered by carrier pigeon if you need to. So think of the app as the road. The road's going to go to nowhere if you don't have a really good solution that people want to drive down that road to go get.
Perfect. Thank you. And I know that in our email out to partners, I was like, we have some things for our product partners, but Fred changed his mind last minute. So what?
Well, no, hold on. This is absolutely true for products as well. Okay. You have to have something that people want. You have to find the right road to get that delivered. But if you're like, I'm an expert on Amazon direct sales, I'm an expert in building websites and attracting people to it, if they get down that road and it leads to a dead end, nobody's going to buy. And so I don't distinguish an app from a product. They're all products. An app is a delivery system. A brick and mortar is a delivery system. And so what we're saying here about quote unquote apps is true for everybody. If you don't build something that's beautiful and that people want and give them a solution that they're really hankering for, then no matter what you do with it, it's not going to be successful. So number one, create something that people need, create something that people want to get from you because it's a better solution than what they've been using, and then deliver with a great app or a great website or a great online presence on Amazon. You have to have all those things going, or you're going to be crying about why hasn't anybody visited me.
Exactly. Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Jay, for coming on. We appreciate you. I'm going to go ahead and let you and Fred fall out. I'm going to say hello to some of the people in our chat, and we'll see you guys all. We're here noon Pacific time every Friday. So I'm going to let them go. Bye, guys. I just kicked Fred out. It's all mine. So I am actually going to put up. Thank you guys all so much for being here. I only got to like a couple of you when I was listing everyone else. So I know I have some new people. Jeff's here, Martin, Mitchell, Ernest, John, Mary. I mean, I see you all in there. Thank you so much. Bill, Mary, Ken, Vanessa. I know we have Eclipse Sunblock even. And Bill Bill has a high-rise sports chair. We have Goliath, and he's actually being featured this week in our newsletter that goes out. So that's exciting. Aziza, Sean Reed, I know I said that you a couple times. Mark, Luke, Leticia, Odin, everyone. Timbo, hey, happy Juneteenth. I know I didn't have a chance to talk about that, and so I just want to say that happy Juneteenth to you. And then Jerry, it was good to see you, and everyone. Gosh, it's so awesome to have you guys here, and we just appreciate you, and we want to bring the best information to you every single week. So please, please, please tell us what you want to have answers to. Is there a specific topic that we don't cover that you really want us to cover? Is there someone that you know that you want to tag and that needs to know about this information, whether it's from the app side or from the product side? Make us a resource for you. That's our mission, is to help entrepreneurs to make this journey easier. So we'll see you guys all next week. Thank you. Bye, everyone.